questions, Tate Kuehner and Riley Phillips.
Tate, for you and Riley both, Dan was just talking about the depth on this pitching staff, and he said, you guys like you and Hawks, you want to start, but you might be in the bullpen. It's kind of a see where you're at after the first couple weeks right now. Is that kind of your feeling and kind of your mentality, I guess, going into the first weekend?
Yeah, I think for the whole staff, it's kind of like that, the idea of you don't know what you're doing and you don't really care. All you want to do is win. And I think that's a good mentality for this team to have, and the pitching staff in the whole, it's who cares gets the ball. It's who's going out there to get outs and eventually get us a win. And I think that's all that matters for us.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think everybody's just at the point where we've gone through the hardships of the fall and the spring scrimmages, and at this point everybody's ready to just push their chips in and get to playing some new competition out there. And no matter what role that brings for you, that we're all ready to go.
It's pretty common around here where you guys are projected to be the favorites, if not the favorite in the ACC, which is the case this year. Is that something you guys just live with, or do you discuss it as players leading into the season, what type of expectations the nation has for us?
I mean, I don't think we don't really talk about it. Last year we didn't receive any love, and that didn't change the way we went about things. I think either way, if you just go out the season with the same mindset every year and just attack the first game and go one game at a time, that's all you can control. I don't think it really matters what people think about us before the year starts.
Yeah, I think we've kind of learned, at least from the 2 years I've been here, we've kind of learned that just to ignore the rankings, no matter if they got us number one overall or if they don't have us ranked at all, just ignore it. And what goes on and the thoughts that go on in this locker room, in this clubhouse and stuff like that is all that matters, that we have each other's back and stuff like that. Rankings don't really matter to us, so.
And it kind of addresses what I was going to ask, because Dan was talking about how last year it seemed like a lot of the mentality and message was resetting the standard for the program after missing the tournament the year before, and how that gave you guys kind of an edge to grab onto through the year. Do you want to try and keep some of that edge while still maintaining, hey, this is Louisville baseball, these expectations are, what we came here for?
I think you always have that edge. I mean, that's obviously very important for this team to play with a little chip on the shoulder. And, I mean, no matter who we're playing against or, where we're ranked, I don't think it changes the fact that this group we're never really the favorite team to play, and we kind of embrace that, and we like to be kind of the bad guys around the country.
I agree with that. I think we'd probably carry the same way that we did last year, even though we're in a little bit of a different situation going into this year than last year. Our mindset last year really brought out the best within everybody, I thought. The competitiveness within the team, the bonds that we got, and all that as it developed throughout the season and before the season. I think that kind of put us in the position to be successful towards the end of last year, and I think that if we continue doing that going forward this year, we'll be in an even better position this year.
Yeah, fortunately, the weather forecast for this weekend looks pretty mild, 40s and 50s, but there will be games earlier in the year when it's not ideal. Who has the advantage in the bad weather situation, pitchers or hitters?
As a pitcher, I like to say it's us. No one wants to hit a jam shot when it's 30, 40 degrees out. It's never fun. But, I mean, we play in this, we practice in this, and we're both from Midwestern spots, so you grow up in this. So it's not anything we're not used to.
Yeah, I'd say I want to say pitchers too, but as we're going into new competition and other teams, I think our team in general has a better advantage compared to other teams. As Coach Mack probably said, we try to get outside every day we can, as long as the weather allows us to, no matter if it's cold, raining, windy, whatever. So, yeah, I think that definitely prepares us for these early months of the season.
Tate, how different is this pitching staff compared to last year? Kind of how do you see the makeup of it? And Dan was talking about maybe 5-6 guys could start in the first couple of weeks and 2 or 3 guys on the back end. How do you kind of see the staff as a whole?
We got a lot of guys who can definitely get the job done, and it's kind of you wait and see what they can do. So like what Coach Mack says, when lights come on, who's really playing their best, and that's how you find the guys you want out there. It's you put them in a pressure situation and see what they can do. So I think anybody on the staff can go out there and do that and prove themselves. So that's what's exciting about going into the year. You can see who else can help this team and eventually get us into the end of the season and see what happens.
I think it's a little bit different just because throughout the fall and into this spring, we've had a handful of guys that have shown that they're capable of being starters and can go the distance and being starters, face the lineup twice. And I think that was a little bit different than last year. As you guys know, it seemed like every weekend the starting rotation was a little bit different, and kind of just seemed like whoever came out of the bullpen the weekend before and did a good job kind of got bumped up to that third starting role or second starting role, no matter what it was. But yeah, I think going into this season, we got a lot more guys that have shown that they're capable of handling that task ahead.
Can you guys talk about what it's like to be some of the older guys on the staff and you know, being a leader for the young kids, and kind of any advice you've shared with some of the younger guys coming in that are going to get a shot to pitch here in the upcoming weeks?
Well, you know, you think back to when you were a freshman and sophomore, and you think about what helped you as a young guy, and I think that's what's helped me the most and try to help these young guys. I think guys like Adam Elliott, those are the guys that took me under their wing and helped me get to the spot I am today. So you think about what got you to this point, and it's just small stuff, whether it's not even baseball related, it's going out to eat with a guy, if it's going out and playing golf, something like that just makes them feel part of this team. And then I think that's what makes the culture around here what it is. It's you take guys under your wings, and then you become best friends with them. And at the end of the day, we're all family, and that's what helps us win games on the field.
I think just sharing your experiences whenever you were in their shoes. I know me and Tate have definitely come a long way since we were freshmen, and that the experiences you had your freshman year definitely had their ups and downs. I know for me they did. But yeah, just being able to share the stories that you've gone through and like show these younger guys that, hey, you're going to face struggles. If you power through it, try and guide them on a way that they can succeed. And as long as you do that, I think these younger guys can appreciate the talk and the wisdom that you give them.
When you do have so much depth and competition at different spots, particularly for you guys as pitchers, how does that just increase the level of, I guess, competition, or the way that you guys practice or compete, knowing that, you know, everybody wants those spots? It's
a fun thing because at the end of the day, you guys are best friends with each other. But once you cross the line, it's like you want to compete against that guy, and there's a little. I always like it because there's a little tension between you guys, and that's what I think pushes this team even further. It's you love the guy off the field, but once you cross that line, you kind of switch, and that's when like the game comes on and you're ready to go.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that.
So we were talking about Coach Williams earlier. I was curious for each of you guys what type of impact he's had on each of your careers now that you're a little bit older.
So yeah, I think Coach Williams definitely played a huge role in my development as a pitcher. I'd say specifically on the mental side of the pitching. Whenever I came in here, everybody's talented. You have to be talented to get here, but it's kind of the things that you don't really realize you're going to need that you need once you get to college. And my freshman year, I didn't realize that, and throughout that year and into last year and into this year even, Coach Williams definitely picked my brain and found ways that I could be better mentally, stronger, and kind of face teams and go through those challenges that I faced freshman year.
Yeah, Coach Williams is an unbelievable guy, and Coach, I can't think of anybody else I'd rather have as a pitching coach. I mean, coming in here, bright eyes, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and he's a guy that can find the best out of any arm that gets onto this campus, and that's what I think he does a great job at.
Curious, it's now game week. Does the vibe change a little bit different, in the locker room and here in the clubhouse with it being game week? And on that note, do either of you have like any superstitions when you go out to pitch that you have to do every time you take the field?
I'd say the vibes are, for the most part, the same. Obviously, it's going to be a little different, feeling in the air and stuff like that. But over these past couple of weeks, Coach Mack and all the other coaches have implemented things trying to get us accustomed to the game week routine and stuff like that, going through scheduling our practice like it would be on a game week, and even our scrimmages this week and setting it up like a real game and stuff like that. So in that sense, I don't think it would change that much. But a couple of my superstitions, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I have a little bit, like, I think before every inning, I kind of take off my hat and look up to the sky and just try to clear my mind. And I think, I don't know, for every reason, I think that I don't do that here. I seem like I have a bad inning, so I try to do that every inning I have out there. So,
on like the game week thing, I don't think anything's changed much. These past couple weekends, Coach Max tried to make it seem like these scrimmages are actual games, and I think that helps guys get a little more accustomed to what's going on and really get us ready to go. Superstition-wise, I don't really know. I like to get a little Chipotle bowl the day of a game. That's always my favorite, but don't know if that helps or not. We'll see. Oh, steak and chicken, extra rice, and then, throw the veggies in there. Load it up.
You guys throw to them all the time. Who are some guys on the offensive end, maybe some names that we don't know that by the end of the season people are going to know?
I mean, obviously, the new guys like McCoy, Mangrum, those guys are tough outs. But I think the guy as a pitching staff, we all kind of noticed, Brandon Anderson was a really tough out over these last couple months. I mean, the growth he made from a freshman, it was definitely a little shocking. I mean, freshman year, you obviously could kind of pitch around him, and we all kind of knew that. But then this fall, he kind of woke you up where it was like, wow, I can't really get this guy out. So that's really promising to see. I mean, Eddie King, those type of guys. Eddie's become a really good hitter, and I think he can help us a lot this year.
I think two guys that stood out to me the most were probably Patrick Forbes and Blaine Schmidt. I think, even though I only faced them this spring, I think both of them showed to me that there's no easy way to get them out. They both put the ball in play rather than strike out, and I think they're definitely under the radar in terms of could be impactful freshmen this year for our team.
Hey, guys. Appreciate it.
Sweet. Hey, guys.